Great, welcome back. It's now 5 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning, welcome back to the program. Today being a Tuesday, the beautiful date of 28th, 2025. It's the month of October. Let's talk about what's happening across the country. Of course, current affairs, that's what we need to get updated on what's happening across. So on set I have Ambassador Dr. Richard Bosire. He's a lecturer of political science at the University of Nairobi, but he's refused to go back to class.
You got it correct today. You got
I got it right.
The University of Nairobi.
The University of Nairobi.
Yes.
Welcome to the program, Dr.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
As well as Gilbert Awino. Gilbert Awino is strategic communications expert. He's also a lawyer by profession. Gilbert, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You're well? It's been a rainy day in the city and across the country. I think all of us are ready for planting or something.
Yes.
Okay. Let me start by doing this. Dr. What do you have on the front page of that's the Standard?
This is Standard, yes.
Yes. Give us a
keep off politics.
Just raise it up. Just raise it up.
Keep off politics.
Thank you.
Yes.
There are 4 gentlemen on the front page. Who are those?
Yes, I can see Musalia Mudavadi, Murkomen, Aden Duale, and Douglas Kanja.
What do you think the Standard is saying? There's an explainer there.
Yeah, the Standard is saying that constitutionally and according to our principles and values in this country, CSS should not participate in politics. But they are participating in politics, and the newspaper writer says that there is a matter that has been taken to court to hold them to account.
That is not something new in this country, Gilbert.
No, it's not new. And for me, this is the disconnect between our wishes in the Constitution and the reality on the ground. Someone like Duale, he has eaten politics for almost half his life when he entered politics in the early 2000s. If you look at Murkomen, it's politics that has made him. Mudavadi has been a politician ever since he left campus. The only exemption there is Kanja, but his appointment is a political appointment. So I think the reality of our nation is that we have so much wishful writings in our constitution, but the reality is different because Duale himself being a cabinet secretary for health, you have seen even how he makes certain pronouncements with regards to politics and nobody holds him to account. But just because it is very hard to delink cabinet positions.
There's a very thin line.
Yes, and politics, because it's a political process and your boss is a politician. So essentially, Daktari, I think it makes sense to issue a warning that they should not be in politics, as Standard is doing. But their boss being a politician, he expects them to be like him. That's why he even makes Kanja. For the first time I saw Kanja on a political rally trying to appease his master. That's the sadness of being in a political position where you take a professional job, but the reality is that it's a political job.
How do you link the two? Dr. as a lecturer of political science, then now we need to delink, and yes, Standard says stop politics. It's been happening, and perhaps we'll see more, because the positions are political appointment positions. I mean,
the problem we have in our country, Victor, I agree to some degree, to a greater extent, with my brother here. But as a people, don't we know what is right and what is wrong?
Right.
Don't we understand what is called public interest and private interest? We do know. Does it mean when the president appoints me, I'm going to do his bidding? Or the president is doing it on behalf of the people of Kenya? So the expectations are any public officer is supposed to serve the government in a neutral way. Are you telling me that if a thief, and there are many, is appointed into government, then he continues stealing because this is what he is used to do? That's what is happening in this country, but it is a perversion. This is the wrong thing that they are doing. We must define our public interest. It's defined in our laws, in our constitutions. The expectations of Kenyans are that they should be served. All of us should be served. The servants of the people should be neutral. I mean, even a police, imagine, This is not his master. His master is not the president. This guy is appointed according to the laws and the constitution of this country. And he should have fidelity for the law and the people of Kenya, not to an individual who signed his appointment letter.
How does the United States Police unit operate? Do they give their loyalty to the Constitution, America, or to the president?
They don't take instructions from anybody. They are the professionals doing a professional job. Their chain of command is clearly spelled out. And they follow the chain of command. That is why they have to arrest. If, for example, a senator in the US breaks the law, they arrest him on the spot. But in Kenya, it's like, oh, you can't touch this one. You can't touch a governor. You can't touch this other one. They violate traffic rules all the time. I only saw my brother the other day, the MP for Kibra. He's the only one who has been punished. But these guys are doing this thing all over, and even today I've seen it on the road.
Yeah.
So in other jurisdictions, people follow the law. And it gets inculcated into them. They know these are values and principles upon which they operate. But in our country, it's like if there's a big man passing,
yes,
then you open traffic quickly for the big man to pass. Yet, we are all equal before the law, and we should all respect the law.
Okay. Gilbert, what should Kenyans feed on? Politics or service delivery?
Well, one is superior to the other. Politics, everything revolves around politics. Everything else comes after politics. Before I answer that question, I would want to respond to the excitement with comparison with America.
Yeah.
Must we always compare ourselves with America?
You can say France, you can say...
Okay, give another example.
But you cannot say Uganda. Of course, you cannot compare with Uganda.
The reality of democracy in African countries is that politics is a business. Politics is a house built by the owners, and once they enter there, they define the rules and the constitution puts them in office, and they do everything as per the constitution to enter there. As soon as they enter there, we worked hard to be here, this is our house, you play by the rules. In as far as service delivery and politics, which one really matters? Of course, politics matters because politics, as Mwalimu will tell you, is who gets what, where. It is politics that does the subdivision. It is the politics that even makes the law. It is the politics that makes the law that made Kanja, who is not even directly answerable to the president. But then, in reality, it is the president who will ask him to resign the same way he did to his predecessor.
Great. What do you have on the front page of the Star?
What we have on the front page of the Star is Raila's succession. Who will be the next kingpin wa Nyanza?
Okay.
Yeah, it has Mbadi, the Treasury CS. It has the ever vibrant and excited Wanga of Homa Bay. It has a youth leader, Oburu Odinga. It also has my friend Opio Wandai and the gentleman who has been receiving most arrows from ODM, Embakasi East MP, Babu Owino.
Yes. Hold that thought. I'll come back to that newspaper later. On the front page of the Daily Nation, Trump aid freeze triggers HIV crisis. Trump aid freeze triggers HIV crisis. And of course, again, there's a student seeking divine intervention. The exam started yesterday, and we continue to wish them all the best. All right, and it says that the shutdown of the U.S. Agency for International Development disrupts healthcare plan that is here. And then ODM moves to preempt post-Raila power feud. ODM moves to preempt post-Raila feud. Sia Senator Oburu Odinga yesterday chaired the first meeting of ODM's key organ, Central Management Committee, as interim party leader, with the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, who has adopted a hawkish stand, reading out the resolutions. Among them is a plea to members to resist the divisive scramble to fill the power vacuum left by the death of party leader Raila Odinga. Daktari, it's now, ODM says that they are good to go. The resolutions which was read by Sifuna, and as a communication, the head of communication now for the party, that is Sifuna Sekjen, everything put formally is a stand of the party. So we can conclude that the party is ready to go.
That's correct, and I wish that Victor, that party should be more institutionalized, should run in accordance with their structures making decisions. If NDC makes it, if it's the National Executive Council makes a decision, they should be respected to guide the party forward. However, when you look at the stars, there is still a jostling for position. Who is going to lead the party? And politics is not necessarily played within the party, it's even played outside the political party. But my wish is that political parties become stronger as institutions and actually solidify to provide that service parties are supposed to offer in a democratic society. Note that a political party is now again, Raila Baba was a very strong leader.
Yes.
A strong leader who held the party together. And we have seen in most instances when a leader who is strong and holds people together departs or leaves, then it becomes chaotic and people are jostling for positions within the party. But I hope ODM will not go in that direction. That is the position of the party, but what will be the reality on the ground? They're still, they're still sparring to weigh who is going to take over the mantle of the party. Oburu is now the one leading the party, but is he going to be the leader of the party permanently, or is he going to hold brief, and then with the various interests among the leaders of the party, even beyond the 5 that have been named by the Star, it's possible that the party might pull in different directions. Party leadership might pull in different directions. There is a history to this. Even how finally we got to ODM. You remember Kalonzo went away with part of the Chungwa, and Raila was with part of the Chungwa, and these metamorphoses of parties, if we go by the history, then we're likely to see people pulling out of ODM, some leaders pulling out, forming their own parties or joining other parties, but that's normal. But I hope that the party will hold together.
Okay. When you talk about division, I think that was the biggest, Gilbert, that was the biggest fear. The moment Raila Odinga passed on, word started going around that, okay, ODM is not going to be the same again and all that. But you could see, or you saw, the manner in which the party moved so fast to fill the power vacuum by picking Daktari to be the interim party chair. And now, as per the Central Management Committee, Oburu Oginga is going to be the party chair moving forward. I mean, before I come to the resolution, do you think Oburu Oginga perhaps is going to get it right, as Raila did? Well, I know the shoes are probably different and big.
The shoes are different, but Waswahili husema mti mkuu ukikatwa wana wa ndege uyumba. Mti mkuu in ODM was Raila Odinga, and nobody was prepared for Raila's departure. And now that he's gone, there is the jostling for trying to... The bird scattered momentarily, and now you see there is a futile attempt to come together. The unity that we saw yesterday in ODM was made for the cameras. It was made for the cameras because you see, as ODM, as Sifuna was reading the statement, if you watch Oburu, at some point he had to confirm that this gentleman, what he's reading, is it really what we talked about? What's the clip again? It was to the left of Sifuna. And on the right was Junet Mohammed, occasionally throwing his cheeky eyes onto that statement just to confirm. And you could see the body language of Edwin Sifuna, particularly when he started reading the statement. He gained his composure towards the end when there were issues like, now we are in this because we agreed that we will support you until 2027. When he started mentioning the NADCO requirements, that they said this coalition is going to implement the NADCO report, some of which will not be implemented by the departure of Raila Odinga. For example, the creation of the opposition, office of the leader of opposition, that was particularly crafted for to accommodate Raila Odinga. Now that is normal, I don't think part of the NADCO report will be fulfilled. Now, looking at ODM at this point, on your question as to whether Oburu will be an effective leader, Oburu had made his position known from the outset. In fact, even before Raila entered into a formal coalition with, I'm saying Raila because ODM was Raila and Raila is ODM. Everybody else, that's why they said when Baba says we go left, we go left. If Baba says we go right, we go right. So as to whether Oburu will be an effective leader or not, that is for time to tell. I do not want to be the first one to write him off. Yeah. But you can be sure ODM will have so many heads. You will have William Ruto being the head of ODM. You will have, yes, William Ruto will be the head of, because he said at the barrio that he will not allow, he will not allow people to destroy the party. You will have Oburu being the head of ODM. You will have Raila Odinga being the head of ODM. And you will have the Fasti, Winnie Odinga, also being the head of ODM. And ultimately, ODM has to stay together because William Ruto wants ODM together because that is when it will have the ultimate value of the collective basket that comes from a strong political party. If it goes in different directions, then it makes no sense to be in bed with this political party. That is why there's some hope in that regard, because then there will be a lot of propping so that this child does not die before term, so that then after 2027, if he wins elections, then he will be free now from coalition.
But I think the biggest bit of it, as you said, that Sifuna's composure improved towards the end.
Yes.
And this was actually necessitated by the fact that they all agreed that they're going to stay in the broad-based government until 2027. The key word is until.
Yes.
Why was staying in the broad-based government a big issue, either to stay or to chicken out? Yeah, go ahead.
Why it was a big issue is because it has been the point of departure for different factions within ODM. There are those who have been overly excited and saying they are pro-two terms within ODM. And Wanga has been one of them, and Mbadi has been one of them, Oburu has been one of them. But the last public engagement that Raila had with the ODM officials, he actually said, that's why Sifuna was saying, who told you? And he repeated, who told you? Because Baba said that we are in this coalition until 2027. After that, please do, in fact, he said, do not commit to the party to the position that we have not taken as one. But of course, being in government comes with its share of bread basket, buttered for that matter, with all the ingredients you think of. So people who are looking for political comfort to be able to run their campaigns, certainly they will be happy to be on Ruto's side. But I see things not moving in the right direction because ultimately before 2027 the reality will dawn on people that really...
Dr. Again, the big issue here is, again, you know, they've been saying that ODM is the biggest party in Kenya. All right. So having a candidate in 2027 is a big issue. And why is it a big issue as well that for them to stay in the broad-based government until 2027, why was it a big issue here?
Perhaps they want to be faithful to the Nadico report and also to...
And that's also part of the resolutions they made, that they're going to chart.
Promises.
Yes.
Their own promises. Perhaps is being faithful to their own promises. But, you know, politics being what it is, this might be a pronouncement to keep the House together for the moment. That this is what unites us. We shall continue with what Baba's aspirations were. But I would also add and say, when I watched Baba's body language, it was like Baba still remained faithful to supporting the cause of the people. Even the NADCO report, he was looking at things that are affecting the people. He was supporting devolution strongly, which is, of course, as you know, the current government does not fully support the devolution. And the issues of human rights, it was on and off, but we know where his heart was, because he was looking at Kenya as sliding into repression and dictatorship, and he did not want the country to go in that direction. And I hope that the leadership Oburu and the leadership of ODM will be privy to this and should be faithful to the wishes of Baba, especially what he lived by.
Yeah.
Mainly ensuring democratic rights are respected and devolution works to improve the lives of the people. I would believe that that should be the core of the party, not to appease anybody. Like, you know, the issue of saying, oh, we came together so that we can maintain national unity or to have Kenya to be peaceful. It's important. Peace is important, Victor. But peace is not an end in itself. The government has to deliver. Peace is a context within which government should deliver and change the lives or transform lives of its citizens. So perhaps ODM needs to think critically, the leadership of ODM needs to think critically and see what is really the focus. Staying in that government is one thing, but staying on the course of the interests of the public, the Kenyan public, is another thing. So they should ensure that the end is to ensure that Kenya becomes better, transformation takes place, education is supported, financing education, it becomes a reality, things like those. Healthcare system changes or improves, this SHA thing should be improved, should be changed. Corruption in the country should be dealt with. For me, this should be the focus. You cannot take people, and I'm sure that Baba did not take people there to continue to perpetuate corruption, mismanagement, maladministration, and all these things we are seeing, even cabinet secretaries being on the campaign trail, rather than serving the public impartially. These are the things that matter to our country.
Okay.
But if it is politics as usual, then they should have lost. The party will have no legacy. But after Raila,
with all this arrest, the kind of scare that almost brought the party to some kind of division, the resolutions, is it going to bring them back together or just to calm down the temperatures across the party? Because the party has got supporters across the country. Gilbert?
The person who will continue to hold ODM together is William Ruto. Nobody else will hold, because I even suspect that he's the person who asked them that you must have your meeting as fast as possible and show the nation that we are together, because it does not be seen to be losing the political bedfellow that he really needs at this particular time, having lost everyone, particularly the vote-rich Central Kenya that really trusted him in the previous time. And also having lost Malala also from Western, and a few, you can see Boni Halwale, I think he's on his way out. Having lost Gloria Oroba, those were very strong political voices that you need to help you, and a few others even from Bosire's region. Now, the posterity of ODM as we speak, I am not sure where it worries us, because history gives us the answer that even Raila Odinga, after his father died, he moved on to have NDP that has since morphed until we got to ODM. Kibaki, yes, was the party leader of DP. He got PNU, but as soon as he left, you can tell where PNU ended. You can see where Jubilee is. You can see where KANU found itself after Moi left office. His leaving office could be equivalent to the death of Moi, in quote, metaphorically. So ultimately he died literally. But when he died literally, KANU also just died literally, to the extent that even Gideon Moi cannot stand for himself to run for a seat that was his for the taking. So all these, there will be a lot of jostling, trying to find a space within the party. But I see that ultimately the history that has made Raila Odinga and many other parties will be repeated in the characters of Sifuna, the Babu Owino, and the rest, because then that is the most realistic path that they will have to take. But for now, they have to stay together so that the vote basket that the president is looking for does not disintegrate to other quarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr.
Victor,
before we continue, I want to serve you tea.
Coffee.
Okay. We all have all that. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. welcome back. So, Dr. you are sorted?
Yes, I'm sorted.
Very good.
We are all sorted.
We are all sorted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gilbert also wanted the same. I also wanted the same. Anyway,
Yes, I'm sorted.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Just received a message from Senator Beth Siengo. She says that she's running for an urgent meeting again based on what we're discussing here. So she said that she'll not make it. An apology from Senator Beth Siengo. All right. So let's get back to it. Now, having all these things put together, again, what's on the front page of the Star? I'll come back to that one. I've not forgotten, Gilbert.
Yeah.
You talked about who is going to be the successor of Lu Nyanza. I'll come back to that. But then, let's talk about the bigger picture. Nationally, ODM is a big party. And having the structures that it has across the country, the branches, and, the leaders spread across the nation, somebody would imagine that if ODM were to run until 2027, then they must remain united, number one, as per what Raila Odinga used to speak about. But the division scare that we saw perhaps is sending some mixed signals to Wanjiku, to the leaders who are aspiring. What do you think is going to be running through the minds of Wanjiku, who is the voter, number one, with regards to ODM as their party? Number two, what do you think the leaders are going to do to calm the nerves of Wanjiku, who is the biggest beneficiary of the party? Doctor, you want to take that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I wanted to respond also to what my brother here said earlier regarding President Ruto not going just to watch the party disintegrate.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember having heard words of that nature when he was in Bondo during the burial. But I do not really understand how an outsider to a party could issue such a threat, because a party belongs to the members. A party has its own structures, has no officials. Is it a declaration that he's going to sponsor, to give money to whoever leadership so that the party can dance to his tune? But it's also dangerous for the political party, because parties should be actually independent. You should be allowed to operate as parties. You can influence from the background, but not, officially, publicly declare that you are going to meddle into another party's affairs. Of course, that's my interpretation. And people take it kindly. A member of a leader of another party saying they are going to ensure this party stands, or whether falls or stands. But what is the reality on the ground? Actually, members of the party are not comfortable. They are not yet comfortable. After with Baba, they went to sleep. They knew that Baba will take them where. They kind of had a very loyal following, which no one else in the party now can command. Because most of the leaders that are on that front page today are self-seekers. Most of them are self-seekers. They don't care about anything. You can't trace any performance against their names. I don't want to disparage anybody, but why did Karoli Omondi beat Mbadi last election? Because the people, you talked about the local people on ground, Wanjiku, thought that Mbadi was not a performer as an MP, even if he had been elected for many years. People get up to a point where they say, we don't see anything in terms of development, in terms of fairness, in terms of governance, effectiveness of representation in Parliament. We have seen Wandai, for instance, coming up and saying, blackouts will be a thing of the past. I remember him saying that, and I said, now we have the guy who is going to help us. We will not have blackouts. But we have blackouts. We produce electricity from geothermal, our geothermal in Naivasha. I went there one time, and they told me the some turbines were closed during the day because we cannot consume all the power. And it's geothermal, cheap, or environmentally friendly, or you can characterize it. It's the best that you can do for any country. Then they increase the cost of electricity. Check your bill. If you're buying electricity today, I am usually very keen on that. They increased last month tariffs for this token thing that we buy using the tokens. Yet they lied to the public that they will not increase electricity, the cost of electricity using the new meters they gave us. They lied to the public, to Kenya, and nobody says about that. When I increased it, I was paying when I buy, for example, 2,000 tokens for 2,000, I used to get like 72. Now I get 69. But it shows me how much money goes to government. 700 and something. Take that as a percentage of 2,000. It's more than 30%.
Yeah.
So they have increased the tariff. These are the things about jostling for party positions to perpetuate their personal interests and over lip service to public interest. It's a lie. But we can see, what I can say also is that the leaders who stand with the people, you saw even during Baba's, this process of interment, Babu Wino was actually, there was cheers all through. When he speaks, when he stands up, people are cheering him. Why? Because what he says, perhaps, and what he does resonates with the public.
This is a question to all of you. Who made Raila the politician he is today? Who held his hand?
Let alone having a hand. You must have a strong will. For you to go to detention, you don't have to be
exactly. So that brings my point again. Also, even you, Gilbert, that who is this leader who wanted Raila to hold his hand and say he's going to be the next king of this and that? This is the heir apparent. Who made him?
He didn't do it.
Yeah, and he knew it. That is why he didn't bother grooming anyone.
Why?
Because he said, you're a man like me.
Yes.
If you want to rise,
go fight for it.
You go fight for it. Yeah. And all these people around him, with the exemption of Wanga, for example, and maybe Opiyo Wandayi, Anyang' Nyong'o tried fighting him for the longest. He lost the fight.
Orengo did.
Orengo did the same. He lost. And many other people around him tried. Ultimately, they say this guy is the king. On the question of whether there will be value for what will the citizens think, there will be three critical masses around the new formation in ODM. One, there is the group that is so happy with the glamour around Raila's barrio, say he has dignified our man. And clearly, what he has done has never been done. It was not even done to the vice president then, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. And to some extent, there are those who are pleased with that. There are also those who are saying that I used to vote for you because of Baba. Now that Baba is no more, I do not know who I will vote for. I will judge you on the basis of your performance.
Yeah. But that's with regards to Wanjiku's thinking.
Yes, Wanjiku's thinking. Okay. Lastly, there's also a critical mass within the ODM base that is saying, who really has been ODM's friend? If you look at building of the coalition arrangements, your friend is the person who gives you the highest number of votes you want. And if you look at from 2013 up to 2025, when Raila from CORD to NASA, then to Azimio, the person who has consistently been giving Raila the votes is Kalonzo Musyoka. And they're saying, why it is time, this guy really stood with you. In fact, my mother used to say, this Kamba man has stayed with Raila. I think he's the one when it comes to voting. We need to say thank you for what he has done. Yes, so there are three critical masses that you will have. I think for now, the voters usually wait for politicians to make their decision, and then they will fall in the brackets of those divisions. We wait to see what really would happen.
Okay, that is Wanjiku's thinking. Doctor, I love the way he's broken into three categories. But let's pick one. Wanjiku thinking, okay, you've been with our son or with our candidate for far too long. So it's our time kurudisha mkono. But we've seen him, the gentleman, quite silent for some time. He's not in the picture. I'm talking about Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka.
Kalonzo, I think, he has been out there. He was even in Bondo. I saw him. He was in Kasarani. Kalonzo is a fine man, I would say. He's a fine man. He's a fine leader. He has been there. Rarely could you say Kalonzo is involved in corruption and all these things. Of course, as a politician, he has his own shortfalls, and I'm not here to vouch for him. But he has been out and saying he is the candidate. Many could say about this. Many politicians could say about this. He stood with Baba, of course, for many years. And they were together, even the ODM, the original ODM. But what does Wanjiku need today?
Yes.
For me, what we need today as a country, and perhaps this will feed into ODM's strategy on what they're thinking about the leadership and all that. Kenya is facing serious governance issues. Serious governance issues. Even if I would just mention the CSS, imagine a police, the IG making political statements. Honestly, Kenya is sinking. The chief of defense forces also made a political statement, and since he was told, you do your barrack stuff, and he's not spoken about it anymore.
Yeah,
and it doesn't appear. But there are governance issues, the cost of living. Baba struggled with that. He did not fix it. I think this should be the agenda of ODM to push forward. This is the agenda of the Kenyan people. We are seeing education suffering. Like now, university workers have been out, where I'm included, for the last 5 weeks. This is the 6th week. They're starting tomorrow. And nothing has happened. We have taken a whole 5 weeks just to discuss or to verify the figures, how much money we are owed. And they came back to where we were, what the court had ruled and what we were claiming to be paid. President has not made a statement at all. The cabinet secretary is fumbling, is flip-flopping, speaking about this. Initially was saying 624 million. Finally it's his pie and says, I now agree, we now agree it is 7.9 billion. The education sector,
I'll come back to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to say there are issues on the agenda list for our country rather than politicking and jostling for positions in political parties.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Yeah. But then the question I want to ask you, gentlemen, because allow me to say what Sifuna said. Sifuna said, we commit here in unison, as we did during the funeral, that we will not be responsible for any breakup in the party, end of quote. What do you make of that statement? Let me take it again. We commit here in unison, as we did during the funeral, that we will not be responsible for any breakup in the party.
Who is the we?
Exactly.
Who is the we?
Exactly. I agree with what...
the Central Management Committee.
No, it is not.
That statement was read.
Then who will, if they are not?
Who will?
They want to manage the party.
That statement, because when I read that statement, I could see the input of what Osotsi said. Actually, it is Osotsi who made reference to the 10-point agenda, the NADCO report, that Raila really stood for. And I could see part of that statement had been, part of that thinking had, towards the end, had been put in ODM. When they were saying, cheekily, when Sifuna was saying we, actually Sifuna was saying that me, who has been seen as a renegade. In fact, at the funeral, he even said, you have seen, even in the face of, you know, unprecedented attacks, you have seen the things that have happened to people like us, for actually standing for what Baba had wanted this coalition to achieve. So when Sifuna says we, Sifuna says, myself, who you have been saying that I'm the renegade, I stand for what Baba stood for in this party before he died. And the like-minded people within the ODM fraternity who are not excited by, you know, the bravado of, you know, sharing a table with the head of state, that for us, we stick to the ideals and values of ODM. If ODM breaks, we, the people you refer to as renegades, will not be responsible. You, some of you who are reading this statement here as I speak, perhaps you're the people who will break. That to me is the interpretation of what...
That is the interpretation. That Terry?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree because I was asking, when you say we, are you talking about you as the leaders of the party? If you will not be responsible, why are you running away from responsibility? Then it's like, again, if you are talking about a section of the leadership, and you are saying what might break the party is something else, just as my brother here has explained, then this is the something we have to focus
something
on.
Or somebody.
Yes, something or somebody. It could be something or somebody. Whoever will break it or whatever will break it, it will not be us. It is that thing. Which is this thing? Not meeting the NADCO report. The agreement has to be implemented. And we have seen resistance over time when Baba was here, that the government was not paying attention. Baba raises issues and the government brushes them off or keeps quiet about them. These are the issues. And this is what I was enumerating. I mean, how do you continue supporting, for example, having a partnership with someone who is actually undermining the very basic principles?
Okay, break it.
Yeah, the very basic
If not, we are not responsible. If we are not responsible, then who will be responsible for the breakup of the party?
That's what I'm saying. It could
According
be,
to Sifuna.
It could be who, it could be what. Yeah.
Let's start with who.
It could be both what and who.
Let's start with who.
Let me give you the who. The who will be responsible for the breaking of the party.
Yes.
Are the people who will close their eyes against the implementation of the 10-point agenda that led them to. For example, Edwin Sifuna is saying, Prof, I have no good news for you because there is no money coming.
There's a lot of money.
There is no money. There is no money coming. There is more money coming because Sifuna just said that we want you to give us our share of the political
yes,
the funds.
And the gentleman who had said that I'm not going to allow the party to disintegrate, you can actually see that ODM is getting the political capital at this particular time to also bargain harder and get the money that they need. And surely, because politics is supreme, they might get it before Dr. here get their money. So the number one team are the people who will close their eyes to the implementation of the NADCO and the 10-point agenda. Two, are the people who are comfortable with the meal, the food they are currently eating because they're dining with the president. The president's money is in Homa Bay, everything. That casual statement that says the president now sleeps in Homa Bay. We are the people in power, and there are people who are resting with that assurance that nothing else will go wrong. Those are the people who will destroy the ODM. But ultimately, the Sifuna faction are also bargaining hard because they know there are certain sections in the NADCO and 10-point which will not be implemented. For example, the opening of the IEBC servers so that they can do an assessment on what really happened in 2022 general elections. That will not happen. And that will be the beginning of the question. You did not implement part of the agreement. What next? Then you are not a good partner in this arrangement.
Two quick questions for you, gentlemen. It's getting interesting, but time is running so fast. So now, is it high time that boys were separated from men? A time when just invoking the name of Raila Odinga was almost a sure bet that you are going to get the ticket. So right now, it's about politics of ideology. But to some extent, the way I asked, are we going to continue hearing the name of Raila Odinga on stage for some time, even posthumously? Doctor?
It is. It's a big name, and he left behind a party, he left behind a good legacy. Unless someone wants just to disappear into the oblivion, they'll have to at least found their position on what Raila has achieved. For instance, we are talking about the NADCO issues. They are national issues. They are public interest issues. So if someone walked away from it and went for elections, I mean, how would people see him? You are betraying the spirit and the word of Jacom. And that's not something that people will take for granted. So people must now realign themselves they stay on course. I would feel that that is how Kenya should run, that you stay by public interest. You stay on the important, you campaign on the important issues, not just campaigning. Give us confidence. Give the public confidence that you are sorting out the issues that matter to them. That is why government is there. And politics, I would correct my friend, my brother here who says politics is everything. Politics is not everything. Politics is a means. It's not an end. Politics is a means to do certain things. Actually, we say who gets, that's Laswell who says, Harold Laswell who said, politics is about who gets what, when, and how. It is about distribution of resources. It's not the end in itself. It's service to the public.
Yeah.
So they should align themselves in such a way that the values, the principles that Jacom Baba espoused are aligned. It will be easier that way. But those, I'm sure, those who will not, will have a big problem.
Yeah.
Now this is the time people would assess individuals not on the basis of aligning with Baba or Baba said, to you demonstrating that actually you are capable and you have the wherewithal to be able to deliver to the public. I hope the public will be that rational, not to be poisoned with money and then they lose their mind and make decisions that otherwise they would have not made.
Okay.
I thank Daktari for hoping for the best for Kenya. The superiority of politics has been time tested. Everything else revolves around political process. Before you elect a leader, you go through a political process. Before they're elected put in a particular office, it is the political interest that really comes into play, so that all these things, including the lawmaking process by the legislator, they are politicians, and if everything we are talking about a county of governance, then we are talking about a country of governance through laws that have been made in Parliament.
That's what I'm saying. It becomes a means. No, it becomes a means to achieve something else. We don't do the politics and end there that we have won the politics, but you have won elections to do something.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's a means towards an end. So the end is public service.
Yes, so it's a further.
Even the laws.
It's a further to all these things that we are saying, Victor. Now, in terms of separation of the boys from, you refer to it, the boys from
and men,
and the boys from and men. Don't forget there are also women, so maybe separation of boys, men, and girls, and forever. There will be a natural attrition process because Baba died suddenly. We never had a period of absence of Baba for so long that led people to speculate. Of course, there are people who are saying that they really do not know whether Baba died here or wherever. There are many theories going around. But the fact is, Baba died unexpectedly. And therefore, people will mourn for a while. As a result of mourning, that will guarantee a certain level of longevity for ODM in its strongholds as they think about who then would naturally, override this kind of interest. But the journey just begins now.
The journey just begins.
Yes.
Based on what you're saying, how strong did Baba himself imprint the identity of ODM in the hearts of the ODM supporters? Almost half of the country, 7.9 million voters in the last election, that is half of Kenyan voters. Will they have a sudden shift? From 7.9 probably up to 4 million people gone or drop along the way?
Certainly.
There was, Baba had his own charisma, I would say. He was a more charismatic of a leader. And people followed him, not the party. There are people who followed him, not the party. Remember even last election, note that, presidential elections are like that. You find people crossing parties. They don't necessarily vote within their parties, even within their coalitions. We have no restraint. We have no guardrails that can make people not to vote another party, like in other countries. So he got votes that directly went to him because of him being who he is, what he has been fighting for, what he has stood for in this country for the longest that we have known him as a politician. So ODM also has its members, and I'm telling you, even during our the elections. I can give an example of the governors. The governors, when they were electing governors, people from different parties again voted for governors. Note that it is an indicator that ODM is, for example, in Kisii, that ODM is is 80%, for example, or 70% ODM.
Yeah.
That cannot be the gauge. The best to say, the best I could say is Baba had his own votes, not as an ODM, but as a charismatic leader who has fought for the rights of Kenyans for the longest. And therefore he got. Now, being out of the equation, so to speak, or having rested, definitely there will be a shift in the way people would vote. ODM will not, whichever leader ODM fronts as a presidential candidate, he will not be as competitive as Baba was. And Baba has won elections. I'm not going to hide this. It's known. People have refused to open servers for us to know the truth. And when people hide the truth, then the speculation becomes the truth.
Okay.
So 2007, for sure. 2013, 2017, there was a court that, did whatever they did. What perhaps ODM could do is to have a strong coalition with other parties, because they say they want to be in a next government. It doesn't have to be the current government. It depends on how, of course, I've seen this current government has been so insensitive to public interest. So to stay with the ideals that Baba stood for, they have to have a coalition with parties that actually would deliver to the interests of this country and ensure democracy, human rights, and all these things are respected. Constitutionalism becomes the only game in town, so that Kenyans will benefit from our political developments over time.
You want to say something?
Yes, the vote basket for ODM will go down certainly, because as the Don says, people are voting for Raila as a brand, not as a party. If Baba took UDA, all those people would become UDA, and Ruto took ODM.
And that was also to the people who got holding someone's hand. It was more of divinity. It was more of an anointment.
Yes, because people
Divine.
used to feel that this gentleman has been mistreated so much. He's the savior. At some point, I think they called him savior. He's the person who can change Kenya. And people believed that if he ascended to that seat, things would be different, because you could see the things that he's been able to do, including this is a national broadcast and it belongs to the government. But see the freedom that people have here to even critically examine the government without fear of many things that you could have expected, and many others. So definitely that from 7, the millions that he had will certainly come down. And one of the reasons it will come down, even if the supporters of ODM do not shift to anyone, is because of the turnout of the voters. There are people who used to walk to the police station just to vote for Baba and take the others who align with him and go back. If Baba is not in the ballot, they would rather stay home and say, I don't care. Then there will be people who will also feel like, honestly, you have been giving us lip service. For example, Daktari spoke of why did Karoli defeat Mbadi? Mbadi, if you give him a platform, he can speak until tomorrow and you will laugh from morning to evening. But the members of Suba,
show me the action.
What did you really do? And then they decided to elect somebody else. So certainly that number will go down. The work is on them to try to fit into the shoes of Raila, to even get to have, if ODM gets to the half of its membership, it will be really a good score for them.
So we can all agree, perhaps I can ask you the same question, it will be, moving forward, the politics of ideology, not personality.
Yes, certainly, yes.
I wish, Victor, we found our parties on ideology rather than personalities. But unfortunately, we have personalized political parties. The leaders of political parties are bigger than the parties themselves. We have also undermined political parties. We talked about the funding the political parties are not getting. Why should anybody do that? Because they want to undermine democracy. And if you want to undermine democracy, you target the political parties. You weaken political parties, then you weaken democracy and accountability. And you have seen it, honestly.
Okay.
There's no accountability in government because political parties have been compromised.
All right. Dr. I'm told that we need to wind up. But the question I want to ask you, Gilbert, I'm so sorry, we're not going to discuss about, let's save this for another day. The succession politics, it's quite delicate and how it's going to be. But now, Dr. 6 weeks out,
yes.
When are you going back to class?
I wish you could ask government, and maybe they're listening, that you are asking this question.
You had a court case, was it last week?
It's not us. Let me say this quickly. We gave a strike notice because the government had reneged on paying our arrears for 2021-2025 CBA. And these were the newest. Then we said, okay, you guys pay us the arrears ordered by the court in early this year. Now, the government did not respond. We said now we put it part of the strike. 7.9 billion Kenya shillings. The government disputes and says, no, it's not that amount. And they go to court. And you know the nature of government is they rush to court at the last minute to stop a strike, not to pay workers. I wish they would pay workers to forestall strikes. We have been 5 weeks, actually this is the 6th week, and nothing has happened. They have only verified. Friday, we were in Machakos, where they did their verification alone as the Ministry of Education, Treasury, and SRC, which SRC is what they hide behind.
Yes.
And they realized that the amount that we were claiming and that had also been approved by the court was correct.
Okay.
And actually it increased a little bit.
What about the document the court wanted from Machakos, the last meeting you had in Machakos?
Yes, that's the same thing I'm talking about. So they did on their part, then they called us on Friday so that we can now agree that actually this figure is correct. Then
what did the court say? What did the court say?
The court is on 29th. 29th is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're supposed to have the report in the court tomorrow. And we are going now, we have agreed about the amount. But have they paid? They have not paid. What I suspect the court will say, go and pay, because that is the order of the Court of Appeal, which actually government itself appealed and lost the case. The Labor Relations Court also had approved that they pay. I don't think even it was proper for government to go to court over this matter when it had already been. The Attorney General himself had told them, go ahead and pay.
The question I want to ask you, a very quick one. There are some universities which have allegedly interdicted some of the dons. What are you going to do about it as a union?
You know, this is part of what government does. If government doesn't pay you, does not say when they are going to pay you, the interest is to push the vice chancellors to interdict or to discipline workers. What we say is that workers should remain resolute and continue with the strike until they are paid, because those letters will all be wiped out. You know, this is what we call, Victor, return to work formula. Once all this is done, then we sign a return to work formula. One of the clauses in the return to work formula is no victimization, no loss of income, and everyone will be paid, even those who are.
You still insist that no money, no class?
No money, no class is obvious. Even the government knows.
Let's leave it at that. Gilbert, I just to leave you out on this.
I just wanted to say that I hope the Advocates Training Program application by the Kenya School of Law, whose deadline is 31st of October this month.
Check that again.
The Advocates Training Program, what the normal citizens refer to application to Kenya School of Law. The deadline is 31st of this month. But because of the strike from the universities, a lot of graduations and a lot of administrative undertakings to the students has been delayed. I'm hoping that KSL will be able to extend the deadline so that they do not lock out.
That one is very important. If I may mention one word.
My director is screaming in my ears.
I wanted to say, we are not blind about our students.
Thank you.
We love them. We shall go back. They reviewed the program, and the CS said they are going to give this new seminar dates when this is done.
Thank you.
They shouldn't be worried.
Thank you. The gentleman speaking is an ambassador. Last time I said Dr. Bosiri, I was almost thrown out of studio. Say Ambassador Balozi. Ambassador Dr. Richard Bosiri.
Thank
you, sir.
It's not fake. This is real.
It's true. It's true. Thank you so much, sir. He's a lecturer of political science, always on call when we call him to come in studio to help us get his mind. Asante sana Balozi. And of course, Gilbert Awino, who is a strategic communications expert and a lawyer. Gentlemen, thank you. We still extend our deepest condolences to the family of Raila Odinga. And of course, we are getting the apology from Senator Beth Siengo. She was supposed to be here. She sits in that Central Management Committee of ODM. She was to be here, but she's been caught up in some meeting, so she was not able to get. Apology accepted. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Victor Lo. Good morning.